Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rayugos Rar, and today I'm here with another build for Terran vs Protoss. This build is one of my all-time favorites. I've been using this build for a very long time, since I started playing the game back in 2015 HOTS. This is the 3-Rax Stim+1 timing. Now back in HOTS it was just the 3-Rax Stim timing, but Legacy of the Void, we can actually get that Stim pack and +1 attack with it. Now, this build is one of the sharper builds that can really just wipe out your opponent if you hit that timing and they're not prepared for it. So this is definitely one of the builds that you want to have up in your arsenal. Now this build likes to open up with a 16 racks and a 16 gas. So you want to throw down that barracks and get that gas. This is otherwise known as the racks first. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our camera hotkeys real quick. Now we're just going to go back to making workers, making sure these closer patches are saturated. This is otherwise known as mineral stacking. I did make a video on it, so if you would like to know how to mineral stack, you can go ahead and watch that video. So we're just keeping our economy nice and strong here, getting it all ready. You can warm up your fingers, you can practice your little boxing here. You can mineral stack if that's your thing. Now, there are two variations to this build. You can either go Marine first, or you can go Reaper first. Personally, I think in the current meta, against Cybernetic Explorer first, it is stronger to go for Marine first. We're going to throw down that CC. And right after this Marine, we're going to make a Reactor. Now the Marine can do a lot of things. If they have a pesky probe going around, you can, stop it from smacking your CC builder. Or if they haven't really sent out any scouts, you can have it just path around the map on the mini-map here to look for proxies. Now, we're going to throw down a second depot, and after that second depot, we're going to rally out a worker right over here. Kind of far from the ramp, so the probe, anything that comes up really doesn't see it. We're going to make a barracks. And then after this depot, we're going to make a worker. And one more barracks. Now we're going to make about 3 Marines. Now, key thing with this build, when you are going for 3 racks and you went Marine first, you want to have your Marine that went out for scouting come back at the same time as these 3 Marines. And the reason for that is because when they send an Adept, assuming they go Cyber first, it takes about 3 Marines to kill an Adept. So, you want to have all 3 Marines together. Somewhere by this ramp, On this map there's another one here, but that's kind of a rare feature on the map, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. That being said, this build should work just fine. Now, once this barracks is finished, we're going to make a tech lab. And at about 3:05, we're going to make an engineering bay. And this barracks, before it makes a tech lab, is just going to make 1 Marine. And the reason for this is, we can now rally our units over here. Make sure to get stim. And when the units all come out, we're going to have roughly 5 in the natural and 5 in the main. This is the perfect number to hold off an Oracle. Now we're going to throw down that depot, get that tech lab, start +1 attack up. Oh, you can see there's a probe there, we can shoo that off. You can see here we have 6 in the main, 5 in the natural. No, we can just kind of wait here, At about 4 minutes, we're going to throw down a missile turret in the main base. Remember to grab that combat shield, by the way. You'll notice you do float a little bit of gas. It's nothing big. You end up spending it. This build's very well mapped out. So 4 minutes, missile turret in the main. We're going to leave those Marines just a bit longer. We can start that next depot. Remember, 4 Marines at a time. Now, after this next rally of Marines, we're going to make 2 Marauders. So now the missile turret's done, we're going to bring all of our units down to the natural, in case they send some Blink Stalkers. These should actually be Marauders. It's 2 Marauders, 2 more Marines, another depot. And with our next 100 gas, we're going to throw down a factory. And once that factory is down, we're going to take our 2 gases in the natural. Now once these 2 Marauders come out, we're going to make 1 more Marine from each tech lab. And then once those Marines are out, that's when our push really begins. We can throw down at 5 minutes a missile turret in the natural, or at 4:55, either or. Remember to keep on making that 1 depot at a time.
Research.
And now that our units are all here, we're gonna grab it and we're gonna go for that push. Once we're at about 44 workers, we're gonna stop our SCV production and we're gonna make 2 more barracks. We're gonna make the starport reactor on the factory, and we're gonna go ahead and drop down that 4th gas finally.
Upgrade complete.
Once this is all down, you can resume SCV production. Now as you can see, as we're moving across the map, we should arrive at the Protoss' base with +1 and stim pack all finished. Go back to making units over here. We can mix those SCVs. We can send out a worker to our 3rd base, and at about 6 minutes we should be able to throw down the 3rd CC. We're going to focus here, we're going to do our big push. You know, we're just going to kind of stim in there, mess up that Protoss. We're going to throw down that 3rd CC, make a depot. We're going to swap this starport and factory. Start that tech lab and reactor. And you can see here, like, usually if you're microing this really well, you can actually kill a lot of stuff on the Protoss.
Research.
This is one of the most lethal builds, honestly. It's very good if you just kind of want to practice early engagements.
Add-on.
So now go back to making those medevacs,
Not enough minerals.
those units. And sometimes you may notice that your opponent maybe rushed out a Colossus. There are situations where you want to actually, instead of continuing your push, just kind of back off. If you ever feel like your opponent has too much of a defense and that you can't break it, you don't always have to trade. One of the things about Therax is you could just instead leave your army outside their base, you know? You don't necessarily have to go through with the trade. So if you don't really feel confident in your ability to take the fight, don't worry about that. You can just back off. Now we're going to get that double eBay and that armory. We're going to saturate up our 3rd base. And we can just instead move on to drop play. We have a ton of bio, so we just need to get out those medevacs and those widow mines. You can see here, by the time this armory finishes, we can start +2. So we can go ahead and at 7:35 start our double armory. We can start +2 attack, and then just in a little bit we can start, after we get that supply up, we can go ahead and start +2 shields. Let's go ahead and drop one more depot. Let's grab that +2 shields. Move those workers over. And we can now start our 2nd starport. If it's Colossus, we can go into Vikings. Or if it's something standard, we can go into a Ghost Academy. Or personally, what I think is the most standard, we can go into Lib Range. When going into Lib Range, you want to make sure you throw down that +1 ship weapons. For as I've said before, when you have +2 ship weapons, you can start 2-shotting stalkers per Liberator. So now just focusing on our macro, making our production, you know, at about 6 medevacs we can stop and we can start making those Liberators or Vikings. Tech lab over here. Consistent depots. Once we're saturated, we can stop our production of SCVs until we got that 4th base. No need to oversaturate. And at about 9 minutes, I like to throw down my Ghost Academy. And after your Ghost Academy, you can grab Advanced Ballistics, which is Liberator range. At this point, we should just constantly be kind of trading out as we build up this Liberator count.
Mineral field depleted. Not enough minerals.
If you see the Protoss player goes for Storm earlier, you can throw down the Ghost Academy earlier. The rule of thumb that I like to use is always throw down your Ghost Academy as soon as the Protoss player starts their High Templar archives. Now we're going to go ahead and instead of making some Last Marauders, we're going to start making Ghosts. Again, you should be keeping up the aggression, so you shouldn't really quite be maxed out anytime soon. But if you've managed to trade effectively, and you are, you can wait for that +2 to finish, and we can go for a push. So, I guess we can grab our units over here. Liberator range should be finishing just momentarily, as we arrive at their base, really. and start that +3/+3. I like to get +3 attack first, and then +2 weapons. We're just gonna wait a little bit for that, and send our units down. Start those gases before the base lands.
Upgrade complete.
And as you can see, we have our lib range. We can start +2, +3. And behind this, 3 more barracks. Let's go ahead and grab all these units, and let's finish the game off. And that is the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope this helps. Bye.